Now, the secrets of living longer in deep sleep. Now, what's tough about this, how many people sleep really deep every night, wake up super refreshed, you go like gangbusters, and then at the end of the day you lay down and you're just comfortable? Okay, good.
I used to. I did once.
Well, it's a society thing, because we're not taught. I mean, until the book, The Human Owner's Manual, comes out, okay, we're not taught how to actually work with this. Now, if you've seen a society, sleep deprivation, it's still used as one of the most common tortures. It's actually, you can break down one of the most toughest guys on the planet by depriving him of sleep and confusing him. Now, has anyone seen a sign like this around? You've seen this before. Okay, so you've got to understand that anytime you see this, that's a sleep-deprived society, because these are people that are, oh, Starbucks, okay. It's a society that needs a stimulant. So what we want to do is find out what healthy sleep is and what's not. Now, sleep deprivation, okay, and this, if you look at the symptoms of this, because what you're going to see is a very cyclical pattern here, okay? If you don't get enough sleep, you release stress hormones. LDL cholesterol, remember how some ignorant physicians will say good cholesterol and bad cholesterol? We know that LDL is not good cholesterol and it's not bad cholesterol. It's low density lipoprotein. It doesn't clog arteries, but it is produced under tissue damage or stress, okay? So that's produced if you don't get enough sleep. Blood sugar elevates if you don't get enough sleep. Okay, if you don't get enough sleep, blood supply to the gut shuts down. So this means maybe digestive issues. Again, only if you don't get enough sleep. It destroys your physically and mental, weakens your immune system, and there's higher disease rates if you don't get enough sleep. Okay, does that make sense?
Oh, gee.
Okay, good. I hope it wasn't just me that got scared. How many people are scared of tigers? Okay, good. I know, okay. I know, I was just kidding. Well, look what happens. See, you've got two parts of the nervous system. One part is the fight or flight. Okay, that's what I just stimulated in you, a perception. Now, fight or flight comes under physical, chemical, or emotional stress. Now, you've got two parts. Remember, fight or flight is one part of the nervous system. The other part is rest, digest, and repair. And we're talking about sleep tonight. So if one part's elevated, the other part's not. So if you're under chronic stress, guess what's not working? The rest, digest, and repair. Now look what happens under the fight or flight. Heart rate, blood sugar, blood pressure, LDL cholesterol all go up. Oh my gosh. Do you see the correlation there? What happens? The blood supply to the gut shuts down, immune system's weakened, body regeneration is shut down. So what you're seeing here is sleep deprivation, or not getting enough sleep, is a nervous system problem. Okay, does that make sense? It's not a perception or mental, it's a nervous system problem. The same thing's going on. Now, this is huge because your body's always regenerating. Two parts of the nervous system, fight or flight, rest and digest. Now, every system in this body has to be regenerated. Now, when we talk about the function of the digestion, we know your stomach linings change multiple times a day. We know that my skin is not 51 years old, okay? It's only 28 days old. Okay, your blood is 120 days old, so this is a constantly regenerating system. Okay, does that make sense? But it doesn't regenerate all the time. During the day, you got fight or flight, or you have rest, digest, and repair. When the fight or flight is gone down, the rest, digest, and repair goes up. Okay, so you can't have both of them going at the same time, so there's always a balance there. Does that make sense? And there has to be a balance in order to keep this system alive and also rebuild itself. So the more you look at it, there's a process, okay? There's a buildup of tissue and breakdown of tissue. Now, next month is Women's Health Month. We're going to talk about, has anyone ever heard of osteoporosis? Okay, we're going to talk about the ridiculous stuff of that, but we're also going to talk about how the body builds up bones and tears down bones. And it needs that remodeling process in order to have healthy bones. Now, they actually came up with a crazy drug called, they're biphosphates, Boniva or Fosamax. Not only is that one of the dumbest drugs on the planet, because it stops the buildup of bone and it stops the tear down of bone, and every medical study shows there's an increase in fracture rates. That means if you stop the process of remodeling the bone, it gets weaker. Okay? I know. When I say a dumb drug, that's what I mean. You give it to someone who has thin bones and it causes bones to break. Dumb? Yeah. Okay, there's dumb or dumber. That one's really dumb. Okay? So anabolism means the body's building up. Catabolism means the body's tearing down. It's not one's better or one's out. Both of these are vital. And in fact, your body destroys 1 billion cells a day. And it builds 1 billion cells a day. Okay, that whole process of cell destruction and cell regrowth is called oxidation. So your health is directly dependent on how you grow cells and how you handle the destruction process. Okay, does that make sense? Because I got to walk you along to show you the important parts of this. So it's not that one's good or one's bad. You need that remodeling process. Well, the whole buildup process occurs when you sleep. Okay, now, there's 2 parts of sleep. You can live without sleep. You don't actually ever need to sleep again. You will die if you don't get REM. Now, REM is the rapid eye movement. It's also called the slow wave sleep patterns. If you don't get deep sleep, you will go insane and die. And there's ways that you can actually induce or stop REM state of sleep in people to induce craziness. So if you want to drive someone crazy, you can actually do that. Well, hopefully you don't do it on purpose.
I have a theory that schizophrenia is from that.
Oh, it is. It's part of it. It's part of it.
No one says that.
Schizophrenia is, well, you're going to see about depression and psychosis and bipolar disorder. That's what we're going to talk about next week. See how we arrange the talks? Digestion, okay, repair, okay, sleep, and then depression, because it all ties in, and you'll see that in a moment. But people who work at nights have higher disease rates. That's because your body's tied to circadian rhythms on the planet. So you have to sleep at a certain time and wake up at a certain time. Medications. Sleep medications stop it. Like what's that commercial with the beautiful butterfly, Lunesta? Okay, I know, but I love the commercial. You got to. I mean, it's beautiful as a butterfly. It makes me want to fly around in a field of green, whatever. Okay, you know, it's stupid because those sleep medications, they'll knock you out. Guess what the side effect of the sleep medications is? You're tired the next day because it wipes out REM state of sleep. You can't get it. And why we must be asleep between 11 and 1. I've had people say, no, you can't. We'll do it at the end. Well, you can't. How does your body know if it's daylight savings time? No, it doesn't. Okay, it's just circadian rhythms. Okay, it's a rough estimate. During that time, that's when your body actually starts to repair. Now look at this. I want you to look at the symptoms of sleep deprivation. Okay, now imagine if we were living in the wealthiest country in the world. And imagine if this country had 5% of the world's population, but we consume 60% of the medications. Okay, just imagine. Okay, just for the heck of it. So let's say that 46% of all commercials that you saw were for medications. Again, I'm just taking a hypothetical situation here. Allergies, anxiety, and depression, panic attacks, digestive disorders, fatigue, headaches, migraines, heart disease, high blood pressure, insomnia. Insomnia is a side effect of sleep. You're going to see how that perpetuates itself. Irritable bowel syndrome, menstrual problems, ulcers, muscle aches and pain, eczema. I know. I can give you a drug for every one of those. Okay, this is the more important part. Did you know that according to the Journal of the American Medical Association, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis are all associated with lack of sleep? Did you know that? I know. So now think of this. All of these are degenerative nerve conditions. Sleep happens to be where your body regenerates itself. So if I was to show you how to get sleep, does that mean that we could reverse some of these diseases? Possibly all of them. Isn't that cool? I know. Aren't you glad you came? I know. I'm glad you're here too. Okay. Now drugs with a flex sleep. Okay, now, I want you to understand. The list you just saw are what happens if you don't sleep correctly. Okay? What happens if you don't sleep correctly? These are the drugs, if you take, they will cause sleep problems. Okay, so we just saw a whole list of symptoms that are caused from not sleeping. These are the drugs that cause the sleep problems. appetite suppressant drugs, antacid, blood pressure meds, attention deficit disorder drugs, okay, over-the-counter cold medications, steroids, pain relievers, medications used to induce sleep, asthma drugs, antihistamines. Wait a second. These are all the drugs that would be prescribed for the symptoms that are from lack of sleep. Okay? Okay, good. You'll see this a couple of times. Like this, the Journal of Pediatrics, 38%, okay? That's over a third of pediatricians give pills to kids for sleep onset delay syndrome. Okay, any test that shows sleep onset delay is actually a disease, or, you know, any test that shows that it's appropriate to give kids sleep medications? Wait a second, we just saw, wasn't sleep medications one of the causes of lack of sleep? Wasn't one of the causes of lack of sleep hyperactivity disorder? And wasn't some of the drugs that they used to treat hyperactivity disorder part of the... Okay, good. Again, out of the Journal of Sleep, Journal of the American Medical Association, they talk about kids with attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity disorder, also have sleep breathing problems, or they have trouble sleeping. This is also true with adults with attention deficit disorder too. Now, sleep is vital in neuron development, early brain function. So let's say you have a young kid who's had a problem with birth, or he's had multiple vaccinations, or they had multiple traumas. Might they have a little difficulty in sleeping? Yeah, if they don't get sleep, they're going to have more brain development problems. Asthma COPD drugs, okay, the COPD drugs. Now, asthma patients, we talked about the cure for asthma. Now, our success rate in curing childhood asthma is 100%. It's not 80%, it's not 70%, that means 100% of the patients. And we talked about this 2 weeks ago. If you have a child with asthma, it's not a problem with the lungs, it's a problem with the nervous system. We find the problem, fix it, the kid gets better. Does that make sense? Okay? Asthma patients, they complain of sleep problems. No wonder. Because what happens is the drugs they give them are stimulants. Okay? They're actually start the fight or flight system. In oxygen, if you're not breathing correctly, low blood oxygen, and it alters sleep. It's just a crazy thing. Depression. Now, we talked about how depression can cause certain symptoms, but one of the things that's amazing is one of the diagnoses to see if you have depression is, do you have